Every month, millions of South Africans rely on their SASSA grants to put food on the table, pay for electricity, cover transport costs, and simply make ends meet. But what happens when those crucial payment dates shift without proper notice? Or when you arrive at the post office or ATM only to find your grant hasn't been paid yet? The truth is, in 2025, delays, changes, and system updates are becoming more frequent. That's why in this video, we're breaking down the confirmed SASSA grant payment dates for July, August, and September 2025 before you're caught off guard. If you're a pensioner, disability grant recipient, or receive a child support grant, this information directly affects your financial security. We've seen many people in the past few months waiting in long queues, confused and frustrated, just because they weren't given accurate dates, or worse, they fell for false social media posts. But we're not just giving you dates. We're giving you real, verified information, straight from official SASSA sources. We'll also explain why certain payments might arrive later than expected, how public holidays and weekends can delay payouts, and what steps you can take if your grant doesn't reflect on time. Plus, we'll touch on important changes happening within the SASSA system itself, like updates to how grants are paid, new collection points, and how to stay informed using your mobile phone or by checking the correct online portals. If you're tired of uncertainty, and you want a clear, trusted breakdown of everything you need to know to plan ahead and protect your monthly income, you're in the right place. Stay tuned, because we are uncovering the real schedule for July, August, and September 2025, and what you can do right now to make sure you get every cent of what you're owed on time. So, now that we've laid out the crucial payment dates for July, August, and September 2025, let's unpack everything in more detail. We're diving deep into how SASSA works, why delays happen, how to safeguard yourself, and what you can do to make sure nothing catches you off guard. Grab a cuppa, settle in, and let's walk through this together. First off, let's talk about why these exact dates matter so much. For most people receiving a SASSA grant, whether it's the old age pension, disability grant, or child support grant, this money is the backbone of their monthly budget. It pays rent, covers basic utilities, ensures there's food on the table, fills up the taxi fare wallet, and sometimes even allows for a little treat now and again. So when the usual rhythm of get paid at the beginning of the month gets disrupted, it can send ripple effects through every corner of some's life. That's why knowing the exact payout dates is not just handy, it's essential. Now, let's look at the reasons these dates might shift around. There are public holidays to consider. For example, if the payment lands on Women's Day in August or Heritage Day in September, SASSA usually moves things earlier to the last working day before the holiday. That avoids inconvenient delays, but it also means that without clear communication, some people might end up going to the ATM and getting no funds, simply because they were expecting the payment on a different day. Another cause for shifts in timing is the internal systems update. South Africa has been upgrading its digital grant payment infrastructure, and occasionally, those upgrades require slight adjustments in scheduling or small technical delays. And let's not forget bank processing times. Even when SASSA releases the money on a certain date, each bank may take a few hours, or in rare cases a business day, to reflect those funds in account holders' balances. So if you're watching your account at 8 a.m. and you don't see it, before panicking, remember the bank might just be running end-of-day processing. Checking again by midday or late afternoon can often clear things up. That leads us to another point of confusion, the difference between the day SASSA pushes the money and the day it lands in your hands. We often hear stories of folks who check right away and worry before realizing a few hours later it's all good. We don't want that stress happening to you. So knowing the official date is step 1, giving it those 12 to 24 hours to actually show is step 2. So, what can you do to keep yourself ahead of all this? First, always check official SASSA communication. They post updates on their official website and Facebook page. If you don't use social media, ask a trusted friend or family member to keep an eye out and send you the dates. Secondly, when you wake up on payday, give a quick check on your bank balance, not just in the morning but later that afternoon as well. That little second look can avoid a lot of panic. But let's talk about what to do if things don't go as planned. Maybe it's a public holiday mishap, maybe it's a system glitch. Either way, patience goes a long way, but also knowing your rights and options is important. If after 48 hours you still haven't received your payment, here's what to do: go to your nearest SASSA office or call the SASSA toll-free line. Have your ID number, your grant number, and specific dates ready. A polite, clear conversation gets you further than frustration or anger. It shows that you're informed and organized. Facing delays can feel alarming, but remember, SASSA is a large organization and delays, though frustrating, are rarely intentional. These delays are almost always rooted in technical issues, administrative updates, or banking bottlenecks. Staying calm, having the right information, and following the proper channels means you can navigate these situations confidently. Let's also discuss something else that's been quietly happening this year: changes in how some grants are being paid. In some areas, SASSA is introducing new collection points, like post-bank counters at local shops or even mobile cash vans in rural communities. What does that mean for you? Potentially shorter queues, payment closer to home, and better access if you don't want to or can't travel to the main post office. But that also means staying attentive to local announcements. If a mobile van is coming to your community, that's great, but if you're still planning to go to the central post office that day, you might arrive only to be told, "Sorry, no payment here." Some communities have formed informal WhatsApp groups where members share real-time news of what's happening: van at shop X today, be there before 11, or post office only has pension from people whose ID ends in 5 this morning. These grassroots updates can be surprisingly valuable. If you can, connect with a community group that shares updates, or even start one with a few trusted friends. And it's not only the location of payments that's changing. There's also a push to reduce fraud, making sure that grants go to the right hands. This has led to increased verification steps in some areas. That might involve presenting ID again or confirming information. For most recipients, this is no problem, but if your details are out of date due to address changes, for instance, it could lead to a delay. Again, staying proactive, making sure your address and contact details are up to date with SASSA goes a long way. Now, let's break down specific tips for July, August, and September 2025, tailored so you can see how this all comes together. For July 2025, we know the official grant dates fall on July 3rd and 4th for most categories, with the pension grant typically hitting bank accounts on the 4th. Because July 5th is a Saturday, it could take until Monday the 6th for late banking payments. What that means is, check your account early, but keep your eyes on it until mid-morning on Monday just in case. And if you're collecting cash, post offices will likely open on the 4th, but queues will be longer, so go early if you can. For August 2025, Women's Day on the 9th is a public holiday. SASSA is expected to pay pensions on the 8th instead of the 9th, which means many people might see their funds a day earlier than usual, and banks may process overnight. Disability grants typically follow suit. The child support grants usually land around the 10th, since public holidays don't affect them as much. Basically, plan around the 8th and early 10th. For September 2025, we have Heritage Day on the 24th, which is another public holiday. So expect the pension release to shift to the 23rd, again with banking processing trickling into the morning of the 24th. Keep in mind some banks and ATMs might be fully closed on the 24th, so don't wait until then to withdraw your cash. Right about now you might be wondering, that's all great to know, but what if I forget these dates? Don't worry, you're not alone. One simple solution is setting reminders. Use your phone's calendar app. All you need is an old-style feature phone with calendar, no smartphone required. Schedule notifications a few days ahead. Then set another reminder on the actual date. That gives you time to prepare and ensures you don't walk out expecting money that isn't available yet. Another useful idea is creating a printed list of these dates and pinning it to your fridge or in your room. That physical reminder is low-tech but effective. And if you help someone else, or they help you, that's all the better. Let's also talk about some deeper financial planning. If your grant consistently arrives early, consider preparing at least part of your monthly expenses ahead of time. It might give you peace of mind knowing the groceries and electricity are already taken care of. Conversely, if you're getting payments late, build in a buffer, like keeping a certain amount aside for emergencies so you don't get stuck in a tough spot. Some community members have even created small saving circles, just basic, trust-based systems, where they each keep a small fund that rotates monthly. That way, when one person's grant is delayed or smaller due to an adjustment, someone else has their back temporarily. These systems aren't complicated, they're just community support at its core. Let's be honest, most of us don't get excited about navigating systems. But once you understand them, you take control. That's why knowing SASSA's changes, dates, payment systems, holidays isn't just useful, it's empowering. You deserve certainty, dignity, and the ability to manage your life. If you've been through confusion over missing funds or late payments, you know how unsettling it feels. But the good news is, once you have the schedule and a few backup steps lined up, most of that anxiety evaporates. You know what to do. You can act calmly, confidently, and you won't be caught by surprise again. Finally, if you do miss your payment date or something doesn't look right, act immediately. Don't wait weeks. Call the SASSA helpline or visit. They are bound by timelines to investigate and resolve issues. And don't be shy, this is your money and your right. Stay polite but firm and you'll usually get quick answers.